Mm-hmm. 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 Surprise,
Let's
traders!
go.
How are we doing, guys? We have some
I wake
big,
up to a
big
little
stuff to
bit of
cover
drool.
today.
I'ma pull up to
GameStop,
that.
yes, GME offers to buy eBay officially for $56 billion, guys. In case you guys are not aware, Ryan Cohen has been making some swifty moves in the background, and GME up 7.7% tonight and up over 15% on the week. So beautiful chart set up on GameStop. We're going to get into the technical analysis, but before we do, guys, slap the like button to help the algorithm push this video and subscribe. I really liked this meme. Best I could do is GameStop gift cards because I freaking love Pawn Stars and Rick Harrison. But this is some really big stuff, guys. Genuinely, some very big stuff. And you can see here on the short interest, you have been seeing shorts get pummeled. And although this is self-reported, we know that, you've been seeing a lot of beautiful things develop on the charts, genuinely. So we're going to cover AMC. We're going to cover GameStop first, though, and we're going to jump straight into these juicy technical analysis. Right, so currently, you peaked in the after hours or post market up here in a crazy spike of volume, right? What we did in our last couple videos, traders, is we talked about the volume profile. Why is that so important, right? And you look at this wedge formation. We knew coming out of this falling wedge that you would find consolidation. You most likely. And what you did was exactly that. And we covered this along the way, saying this was the first golden cross, genuinely seeing follow through for the first time since back here. And that's technically significant, right? When you look at the follow through that became of this golden cross, because the 200-day EMA and the 50 were both sloping upwards as they crossed, and you saw volume step in. You failed here back in October, September, and you failed here. But what is going to make an outlier here is the volume on the stock is insane. 20 million in one day, although we've seen it before, right? Look at the consolidation here. Bump, and then break on the fourth time, disallowing this to cross down on the daily MACD. It's very exciting stuff, guys. And the fact that you're already above the wall. This has been your point of control on GameStop, $28. The more you zoom out, the more rejections you see. And the break of that is significant as you currently sit at 28.61, right? And this thing's ping-ponging around in after hours, but I cannot contain my passion and my excitement here as you're finally seeing a little bit of that due diligence come to fruition, right? So if you guys are enjoying it, of course, slap the subscribe button. But price targets and where I think it can go. I do genuinely believe that you were within a kind of rising wedge formation here that you failed to break down from, right? You had a 1, 2, 3, 4 breakdown, and then now you're seeing a little bit of resistance at 26 that you've blasted through. So that's the good news. And we talked about on Webull, the possible profit target of this would be the flag formation. And if you do that formation, right, that's your flagpole, that's your flag. From the bounce off of that, that takes you right around that $31 target, guys. And we know, based off of historical confluence, once you get it back above this $28 level, the stock goes ballistic. You are one tweet away from $50. And I wish I was exaggerating, right? Look at how you pop here, not just in a nice ramp up of volume, right? You see that 1, 2, 3, 4 stair step, but the volume on the stock, 16% in a week, as soon as you blast through that $28 level. And then you see how you chop around it, how you reject it, how you pump through it. Very important level on GameStop. I wanted to cover GameStop, though, on the larger time frames, because when you zoom out, this can so easily be like Neo stock. This inverted head and shoulders, right? In which that would be your neckline. that you've just broken above, and that is your secondary target, $34, also entirely possible. On the monthly time frame, you've successfully broken the consolidation that we were watching. And this is what we like to do, traders. We like to chart the macro because the macro is going to give you the biggest, the juiciest moves on the stock. And what you saw in the monthly, we covered multiple times. You had a significant RSI wedge or consolidation flag here after this run up in 2024. Now, nobody was really talking about this, but you were making multiple touches of divergences here while trading very tightly within this wedge. Now, once you broke back above it, right, you may only done this a couple different times. You broke above the RSI monthly band here, and that marked your bottom back in April of 2024 before you saw a 108% candle with an enormous wick, right? You crossed above it here, and you saw that big run up from $20 all the way up to $36. And then you dumped and you rejected, and you finally found a phase in which not only have you bounced off of the 50 line on the monthly RSI, confirming a bullish trend on the stock on the macro, right? That's significant, but also cleared this RSI wedge or pennant and now solidified a move higher, guys. I do believe the best is yet to come on this move. If you can see some follow through on the volume, we're already seeing that in a big way. But what you want to see next is the same exact thing, right? You want to see the volume step in. You're already getting a good sign on the monthly MACD, which is a lagging indicator. And you have your first little peeky weeky of a monthly RSI or a monthly MACD cross. This is significant because you've only had this two separate times, traders. You had it back here, right? This is talking about the macro, the last 5 to 6 years when you saw these monstrous moves. This is what originally made me want to make this channel, is you had this monthly MACD cross after rising back above the 200-day EMA and solidifying a bottom, right? You had a monthly MACD cross, you shot up 500%. The next monthly MACD cross, you have to go all the way back to the origins, right? March of 2020, traders, you see a 18,000% run. That's not nothing. And the fact that you're getting it once more is a sign of bullish things to come. Now, if you can see GameStop kind of aggressively eat up at eBay as you're seeing latest updates, right? GameStop offered to buy all eBay shares at $125 each, valuing eBay right around $56 billion, funding 50% cash, 50% GME stock. Traders, GameStop holds 5% of eBay as it stands today. CEO Ryan Cohen may push a proxy fight, right? You're being a little bit aggressive here. You're looking to see a larger cash balance and ongoing brick and mortar reductions. He's cutting costs and expanding the top line sales, expanding into a lot of collectible market with higher margin. This man knows what he's doing. He's very intentional in what he's doing. And I have 100% faith that he will take this company into the stratosphere, as he's already done, right? You look at the earnings back to back to back to back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is 7 beats in a row of profitability. That is proven success. And now you're already at 28.74, seeing the highest candle wick of the trading hours at $30, right? So you are officially trading in that $30 territory that gives you the freaking tenders, right? The lemon pepper tendies. All right. Is there anything else to cover here on GME? Let's see on the 4-hour. Oh, yeah, 4-hour tells you a funny story. Consolidation broken, and you fly. You'd like to see this close above the gap fill, right? close above your point of control, and this thing can flag out and go crazy. It can go ballistic, but you truthfully really want to close above 28.15. That is your mark to stay above. If you fail to hold it, there's an opportunity for shorts to push this thing down and see a little bit of a double top action on the stock. But we will cover that as it comes, right? AMC. A lot of people feeling down on this stock, and I honestly feel up. You could see this consolidation. We talked about it in our last video that this thing is most likely going to come back to 144. What was your low, traders? It was 144. That's hilarious. You've seen a little bit of a bounce off of the GME news, and you've stayed within this flag formation. I am bullish here as you retest previous resistance, new support, right? And also when you look at what trajectory sent you the last time you met it, that's 144. You lost it here and then you never regained it until you bumped your head, and then now you've revisited all the way back while within a bullish reversal formation. I think that's bullish, and you're starting to see a break here on AMC. Hopefully you see it follow GameStop. The one thing I don't like, there's two things actually. You need to get back above the 9-day EMA. That has been your crutch. You held it. You were holding on by a sliver, rejected it here, and then now you've rejected it again. You're now pinched between the 9-day and the 50. Oftentimes, this leads to consolidation before the 9 slaps you lower. You don't want to see that, guys. And what makes me think that you may is you're seeing this ramp up in bearish volume. That's not what you want to see at the end of these consolidation phases. You need a big, big bounce here in a big, big way. And I do believe that this GameStop news did not come at a mistaken time, right? This is very, very coincidental that this comes in as soon as you touch your 144 bottom that we talked about on AMC. Now, when you zoom out here to the daily, we're just looking for any signs that this thing would be looking for a turnaround. One sign, right? You've successfully tested 144. The second sign, right? You're testing your 50 level on the RSI. If you can find a bounce here, traders, this will be the most bullish AMC has looked on the daily time frame since probably pre this level. Probably here, right? Riding the RSI band, breaking above it, retesting the 50, and then riding. This would be a significant retest if that is the case. If you are able to find a bounce, and I do believe the market is set up for it, so just be wary in the volume, be wary in the 9-day EMA slapping you lower. It looks very, very like a shoulder head, right? Shoulder that we talked about a long, long time ago. And this is where it gets exciting, right? If you saw that breakout, guys, let's just theoretically say this is a flag breakout. Bam, flagging out extra hard. That's taking you up to 327. That's insane. And it very much lines up with a horizontal level of resistance. So we're just going to mark that now as a potential technical target on AMC. And if you're able to do that, guys, you are above the 200-day EMA, which is the most exciting thing of this whole conversation. As you can see on the 4-hour chart, you have that flag very much intact, and you're bouncing or finding support right around the 200-day EMA on the 4-hour. This is bullish, and you see this kind of flirting of the 4-hour MACD. You want to see this thing blast tomorrow morning. If this thing blasts, guys, it's going to be a beautiful Monday open. If it doesn't, it's probably going to be very depressing, but we'll talk about it when we get there. You're up already 2% in the overnight trading, and I think that gets you pretty close to back above the 9. It gets you right there to the 9-day EMA. So we'll see how that opens up. On the daily chart, that's what we were looking for. On the daily chart for AMC, you did see a bearish cross down of the MACD. However, right, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the 200-day EMA, guys. If you can find a bounce off the 50-day EMA, that is what we want. We want a bounce for the first time off the 50 since back here. This is where you and back here. So AMC has proven during these runs that the 50-day EMA acts as significant support, as this break flag retest sent you from 290 to 4, right? The same thing. Break retest to the 50 took you from 3 up to 360. This could be a very, very similar thing playing out, but now, traders, the tides are changing in the stock market. You're seeing a lot of people become risk on. You're seeing the IWM index outperform the S&P 500, right? We'll pull it up right now, IWM/SPY. And what this stock is, traders, is this is telling you that over the macro, there is a flip beginning to happen. As you see, the IWM risk on basket of stocks, small caps, whatever you want to call them, break out of a 6-year consolidation period. That is significant. And what I expect to happen from this is I expect IWM to lead the way for stocks like GameStop, stocks like NEO and AMC. And this has been our thesis all along, right? That we believe that this thing is going to go sky high. Now, on the weekly, you're already showing a weekly bullish hammer candle and a break of that previous volume downtrend, guys. On the monthly time frame, don't even get me started. This thing's so sexy. You see a retest of your cup and handle, right? Cup handle, breakout, and a retest of the neckline with a bullish engulfing candle, guys. It doesn't get better than that. It simply does not get better than that. So that gets me absolutely jacked, gets me excited. And to see that the weekly volume is picking up is a good sign, traders, that hopefully if this war in Iran can get sorted, that you will see a rally on IWM, or at least, right, some bullish consolidation at these high levels to allow the other stocks like AMC and GameStop to begin to run a little bit and find some breathing room. Beyond that, for AMC, what we talked about, the price target of 360, I think it was. Yeah, 329 or 330. That gets you back above the 200-day EMA for the first time in a very, very long time, traders. And if you don't know, right, what we were just talking about on GameStop is that the 200-day EMA, getting back above that, triggers things like the golden cross. It allows, if you can consolidate and hold above it, that you're showing institutions, hedge funds, swing traders, day traders, that this stock is bullish, is ripe for upside. And that's exactly what you saw here, right? The 50 got above the 200 after you regained it, and you're seeing the fruits of your labor, to say the least. On AMC would be the first time you've been above the 200 since all the way back here, and you failed to close above it. The first close above it that you would have since August of 2022. Yeah, significant, right? And you haven't had a golden cross since right after the January squeeze. So although it does not, history doesn't repeat, it does often rhyme, and it is beginning to when you look at IWM. Although this may not be a 2021 level squeeze, this is 2026, and 2026 looks beautiful. So that is almost everything, traders. Almost. We have to get back above 203. That is your mission. That is the most important level of resistance on AMC. As you found a beautiful level of support. We'll see how we open tomorrow. And just for my guy, only in paradise, you're seeing a breakout of the GME warrants up 13%. With the profit target, right, of 450, give or take. Getting back above this uptrend would be significantly bullish. Retesting it and failing would mean most likely a double bottom at around 310. What I'm bullish on is, right, the volume here is insane. for the GME warrants. You've seen a break of the overall volume trend. And when you look at the 9-day EMA is about to slice through the 50. If that occurs, traders, I expect volatility to pick up here, as you've already seen a break of the neckline. If that happens, you should see volume step in and this thing smash, not just through the previous support, but the new resistance, guys. So that's going to be at $4, a very important level to watch. As you see on the weekly time frame, you should start to see this thing curl back up. If you see the weekly MACD cross green, sky's the limit, right? You have a bullish hammer candle on the weekly already. It looks beautiful, guys. So all in that to say subscribe. Bitcoin's up. I hope you guys are having a wonderful freaking weekend. And remember, traders, the best is yet to come. Much love and peace.